Hi everybody, my name is Rene and this channel is dedicated to the learning and enhancing Tango. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. And you're going to learn a lot of different things today. And if this looks or sounds a little bit too much for you, you can always go back. We have this series that we started about 30 weeks ago, so we have a lot of information that is very useful. If you have if you have been following all these lessons that we're doing every week, you're going to find this exercise that we're going to do today very interesting. But before I start going into the lesson, I wanted to comment to you that I am also doing, as you know, I'm doing a podcast, and this week I chose the Tango Cambalache, or as I decided to use the term hodgepodge. And it's a very interesting podcast, so if you are interested in the lyrics, in whatever is behind the lyrics of or the tango songs, give it a try. It's very, very interesting. I collected a wonderful set of information, and it's going to like break your world, definitely, if you're interested in the lyrics, which for me are like are the core of the tango songs. I need to know where they come from and why do they mean what they mean, and etc., etc. So the podcast is really, really cool. Every Saturday we have a new episode coming, and don't miss it. It's available in many platforms, but you can find it also on Spotify. With that said, if you look at the link on this video, I included a playlist that has a lot of waltzes. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to go over a few exercises that we did before, but I'm going to put them in this musicality idea that we were working before, and I'm going to organize them so you can adapt them to your dance. During the first part, I'm going to explain how the sequence is going to go. And as I usually do, I'm going to start with the leaders, then I'm going to continue with the ladies. And these lessons in musicality don't have a lot of footwork. You don't really need a lot of footwork. So I'm going to emphasize mostly in the lead and the follow. And before I start, let me tell you what exercise we have been doing. Last week we did a sacada, then we did a sandwich, then we added to that sacada, we added a molinete. A molinete that we, just as an exercise, we decided to turn into a molinete on one side and another molinete on the other side. To that we are going to, because the waltz is asking for, we're going to add a little bit of walking. In waltz, there's like two very important things. You have to walk and you have to spin. So we're going to do both today. And I'm going to start by the, to me, it's the most complex part of all. It's the walking part. And we're not just going to walk. We're going to walk in the cross system. And I'm going to teach a trick here, which I love to do when I'm dancing, because it allows you to enjoy the corners. The corners, every milonguero knows that the corners are a little bit tricky, and most of the time we avoid the corners. So we don't go dancing here and in an angle. We usually go, the corner is there, and we don't want to have anything to do with the corner. We just like veer. I want you to face head on the corner with these exercises that I'm going to give you, okay? So, the playlist, and the reason why I chose a waltz today is because I want your ear to get used to these counts that I am asking you to do. They match with every music. In this case, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, which is very simple to follow, okay? So, once again, this is for the leaders. Ladies, don't go away. Listen to what I have to say, because then we're going to do it with the sticks, and you need to know, to see what actually is happening. In the first part, see, I'm going to go, let's remember, let's bring the steps back first. In order to do the basic cross system, we have to make 8 steps. I'm going to start 1 with my right, 2, and then I lift. After that lift, I start another count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 4 with my chest, number 5, then 6, 7, and 8. I just walked, right? But I want you to remember what we were doing, where we are placing our feet. Here is parallel system. There's no further explanation for this. You're doing exactly the opposite of what the follower is doing. And I start with the right. She's starting with her left. After the side step, I'm going to lift her up. Her left leg is hanging in the air. I'm going to walk with my left leg as well, and I'm going to walk in the next step in her line of dance, out her line of dance, out her line of dance, in her line of dance, lead the cross by switching my weight to my right foot and leading that cross, and with the left leg I finish 6, 7, and 8. Now, if I am trying to dance waltz with that, I'm going to probably go a little bit like this. I'm going to go just in a straight line. What did I do there? Once again, I'm not doing syncopation yet. I'm just trying to go with the beat. Boom, boom, boom. The strong beat, which is the downbeat. Boom, 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 boom. Let's do it again. Boom, 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 boom. I can wait here forever until I feel ready with the music. In, out, in, cross. 6, 7, 8. Now, in that motion, in that slow part, I want you to see how I'm going to hit perfectly the corner, and I'm going to almost touch the lamp. So here I go. So, I'm doing the first step, doesn't go anywhere. Side step, in, out, in. I cannot go further because my dance partner is going to hit the wall. So I'm going to change. I'm going to move I'm holding her here. I'm going to move my torso, and I'm going to walk 6, 7, and 8. So, in order to do that 90-degree angle, I have to match that 90-degree angle in my own body. My lower body first is frozen. I do that 90-degree angle with my upper body, and then look at my standing foot. I move my hips, and that means that I'm going to, first is my torso, then my hips, and then finally I can go finish in the same structure that most of the time we finish, 6, 7, 8. Now, attenti, ladies. As usual, the right leg is the fancy shoe, the left leg is the non-fancy shoe. So, if I try to do this side step, I'm lifting, so the left leg of the lady is hanging, and then I walk in her line of dance, out her line of dance, out her line of dance, in her line of dance. I lead the cross just with using my switch of weight to the front foot, in this case my right foot, and then I turn. See, when I turn, even when I'm dancing with the sticks, they are not going to be frozen. I have to bring them with me. See how the right stick is coming and still hanging. I'm going to explain to you that a little bit later, ladies. But when this is happening, you can do a lot of things, and then 6, 7, and 8. I call it this a trick because once again, let's say I have somebody in the milonga that is a little bit, he is rushing. So every time that I would like to turn around and use the space that I just left, because the other person is probably also not giving me a lot of space, and if I have this person right next to me and he's always trying to move a little bit too close, if I go here in the corner, I'm going to give that person opportunity to pass on my left side. That is, as you probably know, if you're a good milonguero, passing in tango is like not very, it's not part of the ethics within the tango community. We don't want to pass. We want all to dance as in a group. So passing is okay, but the person that passes on this side in the middle, it's considered not a very good dancer, because you know those are the rules. If you pass on the left side, very well done, because you're managing a lot of your space, and probably the person that you have in front, or the couple that is dancing in front of you, is kind of like trying to use too much time doing their steps, so you have to pass them on the right side of that leader, never on the left. So if I have somebody that's like really pushing me, I'm going to open the possibility. If he wants to go, see, because I'm doing something here and I can hold my 6, 7, 8 for a little bit and give that couple the opportunity to ignore me and go. And then I'm going to be, because you know this, since that couple is moving a little bit faster, it's going to be easier for them to go, and then I'm going to have a little bit of space. Usually when a couple moves too fast, they leave a space behind them. So I'm going to be able to enjoy, and after my 6, 7, 8, I'm going to probably do some other stuff, okay? So I know that we are starting by the end, but there's a reason for that. So if I practice this a little bit with the syncopation that we were practicing before, I'm going to go, first I go to the side step. And then I'm going to think about the musicality. Ba, ba, ba. 1, slow. 2, slow. 3, slow. Ba, ba, ba. You can place this in every set that you're counting, but just for fun, I'm going to do it very slow from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can, again, now I'm going to start with counting. Just in the 6, 7, 8. Six, 7, 8. That depends a little bit on you. All I want to do is to give you the possibility of trying to use this. Okay, now a little bit to organize. It's very difficult when you're dancing a waltz to dance all by yourself. Like I said earlier, we have to dance a little bit in the same with the group. That doesn't mean that we're all going to be dancing exactly the same, but there is a mood. Depending on the music, it could be a calò, it could be a Di Sarli. I cannot dance like everything as Di Sarli. I cannot dance everything like Biagi, that is like going a little bit fast. Or it feels fast, it doesn't go fast. There's a lot of more elements in the music. That doesn't mean that it's going fast, but all the group is going to be listening the music in the same way a little bit. So go with that speed. If you are going just to think that you're practicing your steps, it's not going to work. You need to work with the rest of the people. So I'm going to go a little bit to the steps we were doing last week. In those steps, we were practicing do a sacada. I'm walking the basic step. 1, 2, and here I'm doing an enrosque, diagonal step, sacada. I was stepping with that leg that I just did the sacada en back ocho, and then we were going into a molinete on that side, and we planned another molinete on this other side. Every time I was trying to dance with her steps, the molinete. Okay? So, if I would be dancing in that sequence, how I would dance? I'm going to dance very fast, trying to show you that sequence. Not necessarily you have to go that fast, but I did a few syncopations there, but let me explain when I'm doing them so you can comprehend what I'm trying to say with the music. So I'm going bam, 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 bam. Then, see, here she's arriving in a forward ocho. That's slow. Bam, bam, another forward ocho, but I am leading the next molinete. Pam, 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 pam. And here I am going too much. If I finish here, my 6, 7, 8 are going to be here. And you have to go that direction, right? So I want you to be in your head designing this direction as well. So if I'm doing that syncopation at that point, I'm going to have to make a few extra steps and make her go in front of me. Okay? So let me do it again. We're going towards the lamp. We want to enjoy at some point that corner. That see, it's this tango doesn't have that the elements that the tango before that had. That's the reason why I want you to listen a collection of waltzes that probably are not related one to the other, so your ear like tries to will try to connect with the music and your movements. That's extremely important in tango. Now, look the way I'm going to connect the exercise. This is her forward step, and her. I'm about to do 6, 7, 8, but I'm not going to do 6, 7, 8. I'm going to take her to the side, in, out, out, in. At the end of that collection of steps that we practiced last week, we're going to try to practice going forward and make a 90-degree angle at the end. So if I do it syncopated, this is going to look a little bit like this. As you can tell, I don't have a lot of space in front of me, but the way that I'm doing it, it feels like perfectly, it fits. I can fit even more steps. I want you to be able to manage the space that you have, not thinking that all the time your steps have to be enormous, okay? This is probably the real space that you have in the milonga. So, pa 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 pa. Finished. Side step. Pa 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 pa. 6, 7, and 8. I know that it sounds like, I mean, it looks a little bit, what are you doing there, Renee? Because I cannot see your feet. But it's going to make a little bit more of sense here when I do with the sticks. And I'm going to do it very, very slow at first so you can see what is happening. I know that the music is going a little bit too fast, but I do my sacada here, send her leg to back ocho, another back ocho, half molinete. 1, 2, 3. I change her direction of the molinete, and I'm going to lead another one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. From here, I'm going to hold that leg up, side, and I face the corner. In, out, out, in, cross. 6, 7, and 8. In order to see, to make you look very clear when I'm going to sacada, I'm making a little bit of elongated steps. However, you don't have to elongate your steps. Now, I'm going to do it as I would be dancing in the milonga. Okay? Don't get me wrong, I don't want you to try to do this fast immediately. Try to find, see, I'm going to go part by part, doing a syncopation every time. So, the syncopation is going to be in my crossing back. 1, 1, 2, 3, first syncopation. My step is in between her legs and my torso is ejecting her left leg behind so she can do a back ocho. I meet that foot with her foot and my foot are meeting there. I send her again back ocho. Look how I'm moving my torso in order to do that. When her leg is behind, I go here and I keep walking. 1, 1, 2, 3. I switch the direction using my torso and I'm doing syncopation. I'm moving with that 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here, look, I'm facing that direction, right? And this is probably, if I hold here and try to do the cross system, I'm not going to have enough room. That's the reason why I'm going to lead her an extra forward ocho towards my right. And after the next forward ocho, I can go directly to the corner. In the corner. In. Out. Out. In, cross. That's when I'm doing the syncopation. Quick, quick. In, cross. 6, 7, 8. It doesn't matter. You can do it in that corner. You can put the, you can use the cross system walking forward at the very beginning or at the end of this exercise. See, I'm going to do the cross system here in this corner. Side, lift, in, out, out, in, cross. And I keep dancing. So you can tell how I covered 2 corners there just by using basic cross system step, sacada, half molinete on my right, half molinete on my left, and then I did another basic cross system step. Very simple, right? Now, if you have any questions about the lead, please go back a little bit on on these lessons. Probably 4 or 5 lessons before this one, you're going to find a video that explains exactly how you're going to lead. I don't want to go to that because I need to explain a lot to the ladies in order to be able to do this. So, gentlemen, if you have any doubts, please go see the videos that we have in the weeks before. Something that is very important that I want to say to the leaders is, although I'm giving you a pattern that is very calculated. It's very simple. It's meant for you to practice this over and over. That doesn't mean that that's the way you're going to end up dancing. Like I always say, I'm showing you. It's kind of like I'm placing you from the perspective of how I see things, so you can learn that technique, that you can get those technical skills, and then you can create your own thing. If you can change these exercises, if you for some reason discover a better way to solve the corner, and it works for you, I'm going to feel so proud of you. If you don't want to use this pattern as it is, and you change things, trim certain steps, or don't do the steps that you don't like, awesome. The thing is that I want you to be able to see, we're not just doing step and we change to something else. We step and we change to something else. We're giving continuity to your dance, and that's what matters. The first thing when you're dancing is your embrace. Just walking with a good embrace, the lady that I'm dancing with, she's going to feel completely happy. On top of that, if I play a little with a few steps, excellent. But then I have to have fluidity with all the steps that I am practicing with. Of course, that I want you to use all the steps that I've been teaching you during this last 30 weeks. However, I want you to make sure that everything is like flowing, everything is moving. We need to move. Even when I am doing a molinete, I can still move, okay? That is extremely important, not just for your dance partner or the couple that is dancing, it's important for the whole dance. If you don't move, the flow stops. If you don't understand the movement, your movement needs to flow, and you don't flow, the whole room finds like traffic. So you have to keep going, keep going, keep going. And your mind, the mind of the leader, needs to be like thinking what I'm going to do next, what's coming next. Of course, that at the very first, it's an effort, but then you're going to, if you keep practicing this, everything is going to come to you by osmosis, and you're going to start feeling the couple here, the couple here. You're not going to start, you're going to feel that it's not a competition any longer. You're going to enjoy being around those couples, and you're going to like play with that space that both couples are giving you, and then you're going to find that fluidity that I'm trying to practice on your own. And the design is going to be yours without even you remembering me telling you these things, okay? So that's a very interesting and very punctual thing that I want you to remember. On the other hand, it's not about you. It's not about just going with your flow and dancing like you're not dancing by yourself like you would be wearing the follower as a shirt. They say, and with a reason, it takes two to tango. So when you're dancing, I want you to always listen to what your dance partner is going to say. Don't just be blind. Even if you're the best dancer in the world, if you don't give her time to express herself, probably you're going to feel, I dance like a king, but she's not going to feel anything. And once again, this is something that you need to learn. You need to learn to listen and create a conversation with her all along your dance. That's the purpose of dancing. It would not be interesting if it's not interesting right now because I'm giving you these instructions in a distance. I cannot touch you. I don't have a partner. So I want you to have this idea in your head, like how difficult this is. Imagine the lady that you're dancing with when things go back to normal, and she's like feeling that she doesn't have, that she's alone, that nobody's like, somebody else is talking and talking and talking, nobody hears what she has to say. Okay? So allow that space. It depends on you that she starts telling you something. If you keep moving and keep moving, at some point ladies are going to give up and they're going to like concentrate in something else. They're going to probably enjoy the dance, the movement, but not the dance. That part of listening to what your partner has to say has to do with the connection. And that connection is really important and interesting. That's what makes tango so appealing. So, now for the ladies. This part, or these exercises that we're doing, ladies, is very simple. We are not, I tried to collect these steps to create this fluidity. I tried to pick the ones that have almost no complications for you. So for that same reason, it's not that difficult. Once again, I'm going to start with what I said about the basic cross system walk, which is very simple. The leader is going to take you to a side step, and then he's going to lift your center up. When you lift your center up, you're not just like waiting here, just lifting your foot off the ground. See, when I try to do it, I lose my balance because I'm lifting just my foot. When I do that, my balance is not really coordinated. I don't have my axis straight. My axis is wobbling. So I want you to remember that when the leader keeps a sustained lead holding you up, go with it, but not only just with your foot. Your whole center is going up. So stretch yourself, lift the heel of your standing foot, and lift the hip of the dancing leg. That is going to help you hold it. If you can't do this, you can rest your toe on the ground, but try to lift your hip nevertheless. That is going to help you understand where you have to be and how strong your axis is. From there, nobody can move you. The leader is going to give you a little bit of support, which you can use. You don't lean on him, but then you're going to develop this ability of feeling where your axis is, and you're going to play with it a lot more. What do I mean with play with it? Because you're going to have that line perfectly aligned. You're going to, while you're waiting, you're going to be drawing something. Even if you're on your metatarsal, you're going to be able to do this. Okay? So, I'm going to go back to the exercise. After the side step, the leader lifts you up, so you're waiting. All you have to do in this case is walk back. It's like a basic step, but you're in the wrong foot, so you have to do an extra step. If we count those steps, I don't like to count, but if you need to count, after the side step and the leader is placing you upwards, there are 8 steps. 1, look how straight my leg is going. I'm activating my glutes. My knee of my standing leg is a little bit soft, but the line that I'm making with the walking leg needs to be very nice and straight, because I want to show you that I'm making humongous steps. The steps depend on the leader. If the leader wants to do longer steps, he is going to probably give you a little bit more of energy. So don't try to go long steps just because you're looking at me doing so. Everything depends on the lead. For now, I have to show you the line, so that's the reason why I'm doing extra long steps. However, eventually I want you to feel your own elongation. See where my foot is going, it's not that far, but I have a line. The line starts in your ribs and you have to feel it going from there all along your leg until your toe. So if I would be elongating and not going that far away, it would feel a little bit like this. So if we count, that would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very simple, right? So if I start here and I start with my left, all I have to do is count, and at the 5, I'm going to do it as the basic step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only cross in the number 5. However, when you're doing the syncopation, as I said a few weeks ago, your position is always with your torso in front of your body. You never dance tango with your weight behind. We cannot dance tango because you're not going to be able to feel, to receive that lead right in front of your body. So I'm going to start here so you can see my profile. I cannot be on my heels. I'm going to try to be on the ball of my feet. Most of you, when you're dancing tango, you like the heels. So if you have heels, that is going to like make you go a little bit more upwards and you're going to feel more your axis. Even when you have heels, this is just as a practice, you can lift. I'm not saying to lift 3 inches, but I am saying disconnect your heels from the ground and make sure that your heels are going together. Probably you can have your metatarsal area together as well, but it's very important that your heels are together because then you're going to make your ankle work. We can never go with the ankle out. We have to go with the ankle in. So in order to practice that, every time that you feel like you're going to start dancing, weight forward on the front of your foot, press your heels together, and then lift a little bit. In order to keep that position, you have to have your ankles rolled in. That is, and you know, you can control that from, I'm controlling it from my core. If I move my core a little bit forward, it feels better. If I move my core backwards, it feels like my legs are going to open, my hips are going to open. So the best, and again, you're not dancing by yourselves. You're dancing with the leader and the leader is holding you. So this exercise is going to be a lot easier with the partner. But I'm starting with that technical part. So you're here, and I want you to try to practice this. Once again, this is just a practice. That's an exercise that you can do all by yourself because you need to understand the music as well. So I go slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, 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 slow. I counted there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do it again so you can see. I'm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That to me is like probably the easiest way to go there. And the reason why I want you to understand is because most of the time, this is not just Renee understanding the music in that set of slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Most of the people go like that. So if you feel, what I don't want you to do is like feel the quick, quick, and go with your own energy like this. Okay? If you go like that, that means that you're not reading the music. Every time that you walk, you have to go with the music. So you have to understand what the music is doing so you can move your body accordingly. Now, I'm going to skip one and then I'm going to do the count. What do I mean by that? This is mute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. I didn't have enough numbers to finish the 5. I mean, I didn't have steps to finish the 5 because I'm not counting the first, right? See, originally this was the number 5, but now it's the number 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the air, 6, 7, and 8. So the syncopation is coming a little bit later. What happens if we mute the first two? Mute, mute. Now I'm going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not really sure if that most leaders can do that. I certainly can do it, but I'm giving you the examples of how you can practice accommodating your movements with the music. It's difficult. That part that I just did, it's a little bit difficult, but still I want you to practice it so you can understand. If you dance with a real good dancer, he's going to probably put you sometimes, if you play with the leader, he is going to probably want to play with you as well, and he's going to put a lot of other things if you can follow. And that's the fun of this conversation that I'm asking the guys to start. Okay, so you can practice this part, but how I envision all of you to have this practice in your head, because it's a little bit different than what it is for the gentlemen. The gentlemen have just, they have one pattern. I want you to have your feminine pattern where you can use certain, don't take it for granted that embellishments refer to just women or followers. Through the embellishments, you can tell the leader a lot of things. It's your opportunity to talk. Most of the time, we are the ones that organizing everything. So when you have that minuscule opportunity of saying something, don't miss it. That's the reason why sometimes I emphasize in these little parts where the leader is doing something else and you can use to express yourselves. Now that expression needs to go in the timing that the music is giving you. Every beat has its own time. It's like a metronome. You have time in between, so you have to use that time properly. So I'm going to go over and reminding you a little bit of the things of the sequence as a follower. I'm not going to do syncopation at first. So, important, when you feel the leg of the leader, it has to feel, I mean, don't panic. He's going to be stepping in between your feet, just flow. A good leader is never going to touch your leg. If that happens, and it happened by accident, you can let it go. But if the leader really kicks you, I really want you to let him know, what was that? Or I didn't understand that, or don't follow that. Because a sacada is something that you lead without touching anything. Okay? A sacada, you're stealing something. So nobody needs to notice. If not, it would not be a steal, right? So, slow motion. I'm going basic step, and all of a sudden I feel the leader displacing that leg. That leg, this is for your mind to organize your movements. It has to be 3/4 of a circle. And usually, because you're not usually, all the time, you're in the embrace here, so your hips are going to take that movement. And again, this is in order to organize your own body. When you finish that ocho, you're not just stepping. First, you have to arrive under your elbow and then make a step, meaning that your body is like moving a little bit. There is a displacement behind you. Then I arrive. Then there's another back ocho, and the leader starts pulling you to take you around in the half molinete. In the half molinete, you start doing a side. He's going to walk, and then he's going to pull you. So the first step for you is side step, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Now you have to turn around. So when that turnaround is happening, there's a lot of things that you can do. You can draw a circle. You can move your a foot very quickly, cross it, and let the leader pivot you. I'm going to move a little bit here. You can tap with the music and then walk. But see, these exercises are something that are connecting you with the music. The moment that you connect with the music, you're telling something to the leader. I'm listening to the music in this way. For example, the leader is dancing in a speed that I don't understand very well. So he does this molinete, and while he's pivoting me, I'm going to let him know, you see, that's a little bit too fast for me. Whew. I did pa, pa, pa. I could have done pa, pa, pa. So these little things are your words, okay? Of course, you need to practice this a lot, so it becomes part of your dancing. My hope is that during this time, you're preparing yourself, you're working, you have some technical skills to work on, so the moment that you come back, you're going to at least have your movements, your side, precisely worked out, okay? So after that first part of the molinete, I'm going to do it all over again. We go back, sacada, back ocho, another back ocho, half molinete. We're going to do another half molinete. Oh, another molinete. Don't call it half. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Like I said to the leaders, probably if you, and in order to organize yourselves as followers, if you keep going on this side, it's going to use the wrong space. So we're going to do forward ocho, another forward ocho, and from here you're going to do the final step, back, 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 cross, 6, 7, 8. I started like right in the middle, so that's the reason why I didn't have enough room to finish. The thing is that I want you to get into the syncopation movements. So at first, I want you to cut them in pieces. How can I do this in molinete? Do you remember? This was very simple. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. We practice that a lot. When you're doing the first part, side, back, ta, ta, ta. The music is telling, the leader is doing his syncopation, but you're not doing it in the syncopation. However, you're reading that syncopation in his body, in the way that he's leading. So he's walking pa, 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 pa. So you know that that foot needs to arrive in the pa, pa. Then you go slow, 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 quick, quick, slow, da, 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 slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, pa, pa. And at the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, pa, pa, pa. Now, if the leader would be doing the syncopation in a different way than I'm asking you to practice, try to, there's always in our minds as leaders, like I said before, we're going to always do 2 quicks, and then most likely we're going to do a slow, because the music, especially in waltz, is calling for that. However, there's special people. They can read the music in a completely different way that I am reading, or most of the guys are leading. So if the leader changes to something that is like requiring continuous speed, you have to be there in order to follow them. Okay? So don't limit my explanation to just this exercise. Add some movement. You know, what if, let's say, Renee is saying slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. What happens if I do slow, quick, 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 slow? Would that work? Let's try it. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I want to add that to the any exercise that I'm doing, like imagine that I'm going to a molinete. Slow, quick, 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 slow, slow, quick, 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 slow. Once again, this is not probably the way that I would dance, but try it. What can you lose? The key is that in order to, in other exercises, we are going to go a little bit faster, and we're going to go every downbeat and every upbeat. For example, for that, I need to understand the music. That is actually something that we're going to practice soon. So that's the reason why I'm like really working on this part of you understanding this change of the speeds, is because of that. We need to understand the music first. Now, one last thing, I'm going to show you what the leaders are doing with their feet in order for you to have a little bit of an idea. This is just for information. While you're dancing, I want you to try to make sure that your chin is never tilted. If you tilt your chin, your eyes, no matter if you're looking up high, especially if you're dancing in an open embrace, you're going to end up looking at the feet of the leader, and you're going to start following his feet. The important thing here is that you're able to follow his lead, not his feet. So, since the last part repeats, I'm going to start over here with in the same shape of a movement that I asked the leaders to do. In, out, out, in. I have no space to keep going backwards. 6, 7, 8. And here we go to the sacada. 1, 2, 3. Molinete. Another molinete. The leader is going to take me to forward ocho, another forward ocho, and from here we're going to walk towards the corner. We're going to face it right away. So side step, in, out, out, in. I have no more space. Switch. Now, that switch, it's very important because I want you to, if you remember carefully, I asked the leaders to move first their torsos and then move their hips, and at the end of the movement, they're moving their feet. So it's like somebody's scanning you. Everything has to happen from up, down. Since the leader is leading in that particular way, from up going down, I want you to move, I want you to feel and move your body accordingly. You're in the cross. Yes, cross. So the leader is moving you. See how, like, I know that something is happening. My leg is getting disconnected from the crossing because I'm going here, and immediately, see, the moment that you finish stretching your obliques, you have to move your hip. The moment that you move your hip a little bit, your leg is already going. So you have another opportunity there. You can do tap, tap. You can do 1, 2, 3. I don't know, you can do, there's a lot of things to do. Whatever you decide to do, when you're alone, practice. The craziest movement that you can possibly imagine. When you are dancing with somebody else, or when you're dancing in the milonga, don't forget that if you lift your foot, you can kick somebody. So in order to practice, you can lift your leg however you want. But when you're dancing in the milonga, make everything more compact. Like, for example, if you know how to do this, I mean, if you practice, let's say, you can compact that same exercise in just doing on the floor, which is going to be nice, beautiful, agile, and elegant. The worst scenario for this part is if you arrive to the number 5 and you move everything all together like a robot. And that is not going to, your upper body is connected with the upper body of the leader, so try to make your leg movement a lot larger. Like I said to the leaders, I'm asking them to wait for this communication that you probably are going to give them. You're going to say something, and I'm trying them to be a little bit patient and trying to listen. But if you don't move, you don't say anything, I'm going to get used to that. And at the end, I'm never going to wait for you. Again, if I feel that your body is moving too quickly or disorganized, I'm going to choose rather not to wait for you, because that is complicating a lot more what I have in mind. It's making my axis probably going a little bit wobbly, or there's a lot of things that can happen. We want things very simple. We don't want to waste so much time doing this, especially when we're learning. So my recommendation, try to disassociate, practice that disassociation like I was doing with the pillow. Try to move first your upper body, then your torso, then your hips, and finally your feet. Now, that same structure in your body can also help you to tell certain things to the leader. If you force, like if you really move very slow, let's imagine the leader is so very into the music in a wrong way, and he's dancing every beat. I'm going to give you an example, something like this. And you want to enjoy, right? As it would be a Viennese waltz, which is danced usually, right? It has kind of like a longer movement. If you want to him to stop, at the very end, you're in this position, and the leader is changing the 90-degree angle, or even if you're doing a forward ocho or whatever, with your embellishment, you're giving him a hint. You're telling him, what if we would go a little bit slower? What if we try a different speed? Okay? So there's going to be a little bit of a tension, but if you're creating that tension, you're managing to say something, even when he's talking, you're a little bit talking over him. However, we can do this. So I want you to open the possibilities for you. And I'm not going to get tired of telling you this, ladies. A lot of you probably are going to tell me, oh no, but Renee, that's not true, because my other teacher told me that. It's not all the time the leader's fault. Don't blame everything on the leader. Don't tell me, oh, I cannot dance very well because, all these leaders are not doing a great job. If you dance correctly, you can dance with a beginner and make the beginner look actually as a professional dancer. The idea is that that connection is the most important part. As long as there is connection with the other person, that means don't think too much in yourself. Think of what you can contribute to that work, that enjoyment, that thing that you're doing with another person. Make it interesting. Okay, so that's probably the most important part in your lesson today. That it's wonderful that you can learn how to read the music perfectly, but in order to do that, in order to do whatever in tango, you must have communication. If the communication is not there, then we cannot have anything. Okay? So that would be the lesson for today. Remember, for now, I would like you to develop these technical skills. If you If you have a partner at home, that's wonderful. You can practice a little bit and see the results immediately. But if you don't, I want you to keep practicing these things all by yourself. If you're having problems with the music, the tango waltz, change to another regular tango. Change it to whatever music that you would like. Find the music that you like and make it go with that slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, with that count, even if it's not tango, because the idea is that you understand the music. Okay? Well, thank you so very much for enjoying this lesson. I did certainly enjoyed making it for you. Once again, don't forget that we have another episode available on Spotify or many platforms of our podcast. And in this podcast, I'm talking about cambalache, and I want you I want to invite you, because I'm going to be talking about cambalache, and I'm going to be showing pictures, videos, maps. We're going to explore this in our virtual milonga, as it happens every Sunday at 7:30. So I have a lot of information that I didn't put on the podcast, so don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I will be there in just a bit. Thank you very much. See you then.